Hello, everyone. Welcome to Toppers Talk with Ecoholics. Today, we have with us a very special guest, the Indian Economic Service 2025 topper, Sambhav. And Sambhav is here to tell us about his story, his journey of how he cracked the examination, which is conducted by none other than UPSC. And जब हम UPSC का नाम सुनते हैं तो हम सब थर थर काँप जाते हैं. तो this kind of an examination, which is a very important examination for policy making individuals who are interested in policy making. It's a great examination, and Sambhav, you have cracked it. So firstly, heartiest congratulations to you and the whole family, your friends, and whoever wished you well for this examination. So congrats, first of all.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your congratulations and for such a warm introduction. And I think it is my honor to come and interact with you and also with the fellow aspirants. So it's my privilege, ma'am.
I'm pleased. Actually, Sambhav, let's start from the very beginning. मैं ये जानना चाहती हूँ because Indian Economic Service aspirants usually aspire for this examination once they are in post graduation. लेकिन बहुत लोग की जर्नी उससे पहले भी शुरू हो जाती है. तो मुझे शुरुआत से बताओ दैट हाउ डिड यू स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग. क्या इकोनॉमिक्स हमेशा से आपके दिमाग में था, या फिर स्कूल टाइम पे या कॉलेज टाइम पे किसी मेंटर ने आपको इस बारे में इंट्रोड्यूस कराया?
Yes. So, ma'am, basically, my whole interest towards civil services, public services, and economic services, it started from much before, like from school time only. But at that time, I was not aware about the economic services. I was aware about civil services and particularly administrative services. So, therefore, even in my 11th, 12th, I opted for humanities with maths. So basically, because I like these subjects, although economics was not in my mind, I think economics is like has been something जो कि एक destiny मुझे लेते गई. Because when I was like joining my college, so my first interest was political science. Like I scored 100 in 12th also in that. So I thought of joining Hindu college with political science honors. But fortunately, I joined St. Stephen's College with BA honors economics, and that was all accidentally. I so all it happened like out of luck only, I would say. And then even after bachelor's also, I had planned to sit for civil services examination right after bachelor's. But when I completed my bachelor's, then I thought that I was not ready at that time to sit for examination, and I thought I needed some more time. And also I explored the option about master and postgraduate, and I come to know about the economic services and other examination like RBI DEPR, which requires eligibility of post graduation in economics. So I thought that it will be prudent on my part to pursue post graduation in economics. So Indian economic service journey has been like that only. I never thought about it; it just happened on the go. So yes, but I prepared through the college only. Like I was preparing for optional civil, like for even for the GS subjects also. I was looking at it, but not intensively. After completing my post graduation, then I took a break year. Like during 2024, I prepared for GS foundation course, and then I wrote a civil services examination in 2024. I skipped Indian economic service examination, and I wrote Indian economic service examination in 2025. This was my first attempt at Indian economic service examination, and I too wrote a civil services examination, and I appeared in mains also this year.
All right. I think you have managed a lot, I feel, in terms of doing college, and from college taking an aspiration that no, you have to be either in administrative services or policy making. And both of the fields are parallel to each other. Yes, the objectivity is different, but with different objectivities, preparing for the both of the examinations, coming under the UPSC radar, and also doing your college, I think that's something which is really a part of huge management.
Yes,
So
sorry.
no problem.
Mhm.
So I would like to ask you that um, how did this, how did you manage all of these things together? कि कोई time table बनाया, या usually students ask us as mentors कि मैम क्या हो जाएगा, कितने how many number of hours, how many number of months, कितने 30 weeks में हो जाएगा कंप्लीट, कोर्स कैसे कंप्लीट होगा इतने टाइम में, हमारी प्रिपरेशन हो जाएगी. But you, on the other hand, actually kept on preparing throughout your college and after that, with the goal कि मुझे ये भी करना है और ये भी करना है simultaneously, which is a difficult task. तो कैसे किया?
मैम सो ऑनेस्टली मैं यही कहूंगा दैट इट वाज नॉट दैट इजी. एक बार एग्जाम निकलने के बाद इट लुक्स इजी, बट एट दैट टाइम आई वाज आल्सो गोइंग थ्रू द सेम स्ट्रेस. सो बट मेरे को ये चीज समझ है, जैसे आई सॉ अ पॉडकास्ट of an Indian Economic Service officer. So where the interviewer was asking her how did she balance her work-life balance. So उन्होंने यही चीज बताया that it is important to prioritize. So I believe that that applies everywhere. So when I was in college, most important thing was that I prioritize what I'm supposed to do. So like when my college examinations were closer, then the college examinations were priority, because you cannot compromise on that. क्योंकि मुझे ये लग रहा है कि अगर ये सर्विस का एग्जामिनेशन निकला है, then that is because of the conceptual clarity that I gained during my undergrad and postgrad. So it is important that you prioritize. And about this examination, so what I feel is कि आपको कम से कम you need a one break year full. तो तब आप अगर प्रिपेयर करना चाहो, देन ऑल्सो यू कैन प्रिपेयर. इट इज नो नेसेसिटी दैट आपको बहुत जल्दी करना है या आपको कॉलेज के टाइम पे ही प्रिपेयर करना है. सो आई बिलीव कि हाँ, अगर कॉलेज में यू आर गेटिंग सम फ्री टाइम, then you can prepare for it, you can look for things other than that. But first priority during college time should be कि जो भी हमें कॉलेज में नॉलेज मिल रही है, we should completely be dedicating ourselves to it. Because आप जितने अच्छे कॉलेजेस में जाते हो, बिकॉज आई स्टडीड फ्रॉम सेंट स्टीफेंस कॉलेज, देन आई अटेंडेड दिल्ली स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स. सो वहां पे प्रोफेसर्स का इतना एक्सपीरियंस था, देन आई थॉट कि इनकी नॉलेज को गेन करना, इट्स लाइक अ वेरी बिग फॉर्च्यून फॉर मी एंड अ वेरी बिग अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर मी. So it is important that you prioritize at that time, and then after that I think उसके बाद में अगर आप full fledgedly prepare कर रहे हो, then for Indian Economic Service I think 6 months time is sufficient, and for civil services examination I think it is 1 year or 1 year, 1.5 year. I think that much time is sufficient. And about the time, it is like it will vary from person to person. And मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इज कि आप ये समझिए कि आपका सबसे प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स कौन से है, सबसे प्रोडक्टिव टाइम क्या है, एंड यू स्टे इन द प्रोसेस. Especially you remain distracted, you remain away from the distractions, social media and your other friends, and you prioritize at that time also, like your family commitments, your friends commitments, they can come after your results. So that was my whole approach.
Absolutely. I remember an anecdote with this regard only, that one of my aunts is an IFS officer, and she had her sister's, real sister's wedding. And उस टाइम पे weddings घर पे ही हुआ करते थे, like घर पे ही मंडप लगा है. So that wedding was at the house, and my dad tells me that वो घर पे थी and वो कमरे के अंदर थी. The now IFS officer, she's of course अभी वो retirement के पास में है, she's very old, but she did that, and she got through the foreign services. And I was like, okay, that's kind of a commitment. I was very young at that time, मैं बहुत छोटी थी, but I learned this through this anecdote, and I think from your verdict also, यही हम समझते हैं that keeping away from distractions is very difficult now that everything is at the at your disposal. सब कुछ तो chat GPT, Gemini, Perplexity, you name it and you have it. But फिर भी directionless घूमना बहुत ज़्यादा आसान हो जाता है इस चक्कर में. So I think that having that direction is very important. तो इसीलिए मेरा सवाल, the next question that I have is with respect to direction. I would like to ask you, who were your mentors in your journey, and कैसे आपको अलग अलग जगह से किस तरीके से डायरेक्शन मिली, और आपने उस डायरेक्शन को किस तरीके से यूटिलाइज किया?
So, ma'am, firstly, my biggest mentor have always been my parents. So they have always stood very rock solid behind me, because whenever a candidate enters in the UPSC preparation, and especially in my case, because I didn't take a campus placement, so I was like completely preparing for this examination. सो दे सपोर्टेड मी फाइनेंशियली एंड मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली मेंटली. तो उन्होंने कहा कि तू कर, चाहे कितना भी टाइम लगे तू कर, हम हैं खड़े तेरे पीछे. एंड इफ योर पेरेंट्स से लाइक दैट, then that gives a lot of motivation and lot of optimism. So I think they were the first mentors. Then secondly, all my college teachers, postgraduate teacher, then Vibhas sir has been a big mentor. Then even at the Ecoholics team, so I've been very inspired from Sanat sir's journey, how he has built this platform. And even I talked to you as well during my interview preparation about DAF preparation. And even during the interview preparation also, I remember Tanveer sir was one of the interviewers and he personally guided me. I even texted him that, sir, where do I need to work? And he was very generous enough. He gave me time. He even talked me on phone. So I think it has been the effort of all these people. Then my college teachers, my school teachers who have always guided me. कभी भी उन्होंने demotivate नहीं कहा. They have always said that yes, you can do it. तो वो चीजें. और उसके बाद में thirdly my friends, my peer groups, जिन्होंने हमेशा positive vibe create करी around me. Like they have advised me in some of my very low times. I remember there was a low time when I was almost quitting this because मेरा civil services का first prelims नहीं हुआ था and it was very disheartening for me. And then I was looking for various options. So I asked my friends, like there was Harsh bhaiya है, उनसे मैंने पूछा that should I leave. बोला कि नहीं, तेरी अच्छी preparation है, you should do it. Then अभी भी even there is my one of my very close friend, he's Dr. Abhijit, so he's also preparing for civil services and he himself is in CMS. So he also guided me a lot during the interview phase, because interview is like your personality test. Then there is another friend who is in IPS, so he's my roommate only. He has undergone for training, so they helped me. Then there is another friend Apoor, and all of these people, they really helped me a lot. They guided me a lot. So I think it is the effort of all these people and all the people who are behind the scenes who do not get that much credit, but it is the effort of all these people.
Wow. I think coming from a topper, it really feels that you are one of the toppers, because the kind of humility, the humbleness, the kind of regard that you have for your mentors is something that tells a lot about your personality. When we talk about Indian Economic Service examination, मेंस होता है और इंटरव्यू होता है, राइट? एंड मेंस इज मोर अबाउट योर नॉलेज टेस्ट है, इंफॉर्मेशन टेस्ट है, इंटेलेक्ट टेस्ट है, बट पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट, द इंटरव्यू राउंड इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. तो मेरा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आपसे इन दोनों के बारे में है. सो फर्स्ट वील गो फॉर द रिटन एग्जामिनेशन. कि रिटन एग्जामिनेशन की तैयारी करने के लिए व्हाट आर द इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग्स दैट यू हैव टू अ स्टूडेंट मस्ट रिमेंबर, या आप मुझे ये भी बता सकते हो दैट व्हाट वर द थिंग्स दैट यू डिड पर्टिकुलरली सो दैट आपकी मेंस प्रेपरेशन और अच्छी हो जाए.
So ma'am, firstly हमें ये समझना पड़ेगा that when we talk about economic services, then this is a technical subject and also it is a specialist examination. So the most important thing is your conceptual clarity. अगर वो नहीं होगी, then I don't think so that you can fetch marks. चाहे आप आंसर को कितना ही अच्छे से डेकोरेट कर दो, प्रेजेंट कर दो, वैल्यू एडिशंस डाल दो, बट इफ यू आर नॉट conceptually clear, then I don't think so you stand any chance. So first important thing is your conceptual clarity. देन अबाउट आंसर राइटिंग, आई बिलीव कि हमें ये समझना चाहिए कि मेन डिमांड क्या है क्वेश्चन की, बिकॉज डिमांड इज द मेन हीरो ऑफ एनी आंसर, बाकी सब चीजें सेकेंड थिंग है. नाउ दिस वाज अबाउट आंसर राइटिंग. नाउ इसके बाद मुझे क्या लगता है कि सबसे पहले अगर आपको मेंस के लिए देखना है, सो फर्स्टली यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर विद व्हाट द सिलेबस इज, और आपको क्या पढ़ना है और क्या नहीं पढ़ना है. क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है, यू जैसे आपने स्टार्टिंग में मेंशन किया था, देयर आर मेनी सोर्सेस, परप्लेक्सिटी, देन चैट जीपीटी, देन देयर आर मेनी सोर्सेस इन द मार्केट. सो देयर इज वेरी लाइकली कि लोग जो है वो मिसलीड हो जाए एंड दे रीड ऑल दोज थिंग्स व्हिच आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन. तो उसके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि हम पीवाईक्यूज को रेफर करें और उसके बाद में हम हमारे सोर्सेस को लिमिट करें. हमको ज्यादा सोर्सेस के पीछे नहीं भागना है, बिकॉज माई मेन बिलीफ अबाउट दिस एग्जामिनेशन इज कि आप ये देखिए कि कितनी कट ऑफ जा रही है इस एग्जामिनेशन की. इट हैज नेवर बीन मोर देन 50%. व्हाट दैट इंप्लाइज इज दैट नोबडी इज राइटिंग द एक्सीलेंट आंसर्स, everybody is writing average answers. So we should also be aiming for that, because this examination is not like a university examination जहाँ पे एक restricted syllabus होता है और आपके पास टाइम भी होता है, दो पेपर्स के बीच में 2 दिन का गैप मिलेगा या 1 दिन का गैप मिलेगा. So you can excel in that. So here it is important कि हम ये समझे कि इतना कोर्स का बड़ा लेंथ है और और कट ऑफ कितनी जा रही है, 50%। तो हमारा मेन इंटेंशन ये है कि हम सारी चीजों को एक बार कवर कर ले, इवन इफ वी डोंट एक्सेल इन फ्यू ऑफ द थिंग्स, दैट इज फाइन। एक जनरल आइडिया होना चाहिए ताकि हम सारे क्वेश्चंस को अटेम्प्ट कर सके और खुद की स्ट्रेंथ्स को रियलाइज कर सके कि हम हमारे स्ट्रेंथ वाले क्वेश्चंस को अच्छा कर सके और उसमें लोगों से एज ले सके। एंड डोंट बी ऑलवेज थिंकिंग अबाउट कंपटीशन कि इतना कंपटीशन है, बिकॉज आई नो अगर आप इस प्रोसेस में रहोगे, सो स्टे इन द प्रोसेस, कंसिस्टेंसी की ठीक है आज मैं पढ़ता हूँ, आज मैं कुछ क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करता हूँ, ब्रेनस्टॉर्म कर लेता हूँ। ज्यादा ये मत सोचो कि हाँ मैं बेस्ट आंसर लिखूंगा स्टार्टिंग से, कि मुझे 10, अगर 10 मार्क का कोई क्वेश्चन है तो उसमें मुझे 8 स्कोर करना है। नो, इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट कि आप 10 मार्क को लिखो, आप जो भी आता है यू जस्ट राइट इट एंड यू ट्राई आंसरिंग इन द बेस्ट पॉसिबल वे यू कैन, and you should be the main leader in that, and keep things simple, because I always believe that simplicity is the main X factor in anything, especially in this examination. So we should not be running behind all the fancy things, and we should keep things very very simple.
एब्सोल्युटली। आई थिंक संभव आपने ना बहुत इंटरेस्टिंगली बहुत सारे ऐसे पॉइंट्स कवर किए जो मेरे दिमाग में थे कहीं ना कहीं, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट्स कंसिस्टेंटली आस्क ऑल ऑफ दीज क्वेश्चंस कि मैम क्या होता है स्टैंडर्ड आंसर, मैम प्लीज गिव अस स्टैंडर्ड आंसर, मैम प्लीज गिव अस टॉपर्स आंसर। अब मैं उनको कैसे बताऊं कि वो टॉपर तब बने ना जब उन्होंने फाइनल आंसर लिखा। they were not the toppers when they were practicing the answers. Even if I give you, that will not be benefiting you. And ये आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि everyone is writing, you have to understand the syllabus and write an above average answer। जो आपकी स्ट्रेंथ्स हैं उसमें आप बेटर करने की कोशिश करो, वो क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करने की कोशिश करो and gather more marks। I think this examination is all about strategizing how you're going to write the exam। तो ये जो आपने पॉइंट्स बोले बहुत ही सटीक हैं, दे आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल द स्टूडेंट एस्पिरेंट्स हु वांट टू क्रैक दिस एग्जामिनेशन। एक बहुत ही कॉमेडी एनेक्डोट मुझे याद आया द अदर डे। देयर वाज अ स्टूडेंट हु वाज आस्किंग, ऑल्दो मेनी स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे पूछते हैं एंड सनत हैज अ वेरी स्टैंडर्ड रिप्लाई। सो वन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स आस्क्ड कि मैम सर इतना ज़्यादा कंपटीशन है एंड देर ओनली फ्यू वैकेंसीज, मतलब 12 ही वैकेंसीज हैं, 17 ही वैकेंसीज हैं, मतलब वेरी लिमिटेड वैकेंसीज। सो सनत ने एक सेकंड के लिए से पॉज लिया लाइक ही यूजुअली हैज एंड देन ही सेड दैट but you only require one seat। so why are you
Right.
thinking about other seats? and
Yes.
it's actually true। हम अगर कंपटीशन के बारे में ही सोचते रह जाएंगे तो
हाँ.
that doubt, all of those things are going to cloud our mind and फिर हम preparation पे नहीं ध्यान दे पाएंगे। So
Hmm.
yeah, that was the fun part। Now after going through the mains and आपको पता चल गया that your name is on the list and you have cracked the examination, and then the preparation starts for the interview।
Okay.
तो इंटरव्यू जब मैं फाइनल राउंड के बारे में पूछना चाहूंगी दैट व्हेन यू एक्चुअली
Mhm.
एंटर्ड द बिल्डिंग and you were called upon for the interview, what happened?
So, ma'am, before answering this question, let me also go through the preparation part of it, because that was the most difficult thing for me. Because there has been a very contrasting experience with me. So, in RBI DEPR examination, I reached till interview stage, and interview was the one where I got very low score. It was, I think, 33% of the total score, which was very low. And so I was very frightened about the interview, because sometimes you feel that okay, there is something missing in you, क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं था कि मेरा कॉलेज अच्छा नहीं था या मेरा एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड अच्छा नहीं था, माय इवन स्कोर्स वर आल्सो वेरी गुड। सो आई वाज वेरी नर्वस एट दैट टाइम। तो उसके टाइम पे वही चीज था कि कैसे मैं खुद को इम्प्रूव करूं। तो देन आई टॉक विद माय फ्रेंड, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि आई हैड आईपीएस फ्रेंड आल्सो, देन सीएमएस आल्सो, देन माय फ्रेंड अभिजीत, सो ही स्कोर्ड 75% इन यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू। सो आई टॉक टू दीस पीपल, देन आई रेड आल्सो आंसर स्क्रिप्ट्स एंड इवन द टॉपर्स व्यूज of Indian Economic Service officers also. So what I found was your academic knowledge has already been tested through mains. Now here they are testing your personality. So what matters is not whether are you able to answer all the questions or not. What matters is that उस क्वेश्चन में जहां पे आपको आंसर नहीं आता है आप कैसे मना करते हो, एंड हाउ यू रिएक्ट टू इट, और उसके बाद में जो क्वेश्चन आएगा आप उसको कैसे आंसर करते हो, एंड आर यू चेयरफुल थ्रू आउट द इंटरव्यू स्टेज और नॉट। क्या इंटरव्यू को आपसे इंटरेक्ट करके अच्छा लग रहा है या नहीं लग रहा है। I think these are the areas where one should be working on, about your presentation, about the way you walk in the interview hall, the way you exit out of the interview hall. So all of these things were very important, and the interview experience with Ecoholics was really very helpful. I found much resemblance of these two interviews. I am saying that very honestly. एंड अबाउट, फिर आपने पूछा था कि कैसा लगा था इंटरव्यू हॉल के जाने से पहले. सो माय फ्रेंड्स ओनली सजेस्टेड मी कि जब भी जाए इंटरव्यू हॉल से पहले, देन टेक 3 deep breaths. और उसके पहले जब भी, whenever, because the most toughest time is when you are waiting outside the hall, which is your interview hall, and already so previous candidate is in the interview process, and you are just waiting for your turn to come. तो उसमें उसने ये बोला that you can sing some song, or you can sing some stuti type, like bhajan type, so that you you don't think about interview that much, and you think about something else. So those were the things. Then I took deep breaths, and then I entered in the interview hall. First I wished all the panel members are female members, so I wished all of them. So my interview was the last interview of the day. It was sixth interview of the day, so they were also tired, and I was also a little bit tired. But when I entered in the hall, then I think I got enthusiastic. I wished them very politely, then I asked them to sit. They allowed me to sit, and then chairman member, she took the lead. And I think the interview process was very cordial. They never made me feel intimidated, and it was a very good experience, I would say. Experience to cherish throughout my lifetime.
Wow, wonderful. Uh, what are the, like you mentioned, that it's very important for a candidate to also know that जो आपको नहीं आता है, the thing that you do not know, let's say a question that you do not know the answer of in the interview, how to say no to it, and then how to look at the next question coming up. तो कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट या समथिंग दैट यू रिमेंबर द मोस्ट आउट ऑफ द इंटरव्यू दैट दिस वाज समथिंग दैट प्रोबेबली इसकी वजह से मेरा सिलेक्शन हुआ होगा, दिस इज समथिंग दैट हैपेंड एंड आई थिंक दैट मेड अ मार्क.
So, ma'am, there is one such incident. So, actually, there was a member from Northeast in the panel. So, she asked me to name all the states of the Northeast. So, there are 8 states. But initially, I was able to recollect only 6 states name, because out of interview pressure, and also remembering them sometimes become difficult, although I was knowing every state. So, then she asked me to take a again to again try for it. So then I told 7 names. So but the panel member, she thought that I only named 6 states. तो फिर मैंने एकदम से बोला कि no ma'am, I reached till 7, and that made even chairman ma'am also laugh, and she also agreed to it, nodded to it, that he told 7 names. So I think that was something which was like a fun part of it, which made the entire interview process really cheerful. And there were many questions there were few questions which I was not able to answer. So I very politely said that, ma'am, I don't know it, but I will look into it. And if there was a chance of trying to take a guess on it, or if I was not sure about it, then I very politely said that, ma'am, I could take a try answering this question if you allow me. So I think these are the things which they appreciate. They don't appreciate you lying or bluffing on anything. So you should be very honest with whatever you know and whatever you present there.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Wow. I think with all of these things in mind, I feel that any student who is aspiring to become an Indian Economic Service officer in the upcoming future would definitely note a lot of things over here. Some of you mentioned, which are really, really noteworthy, very important. With whether it's respect to your discipline or following a routine or being distraction free or having a schedule or preparing for something, looking at different mentors and taking direction consistently, seeking for help and seeking direction so that you can finally reach the aim, finally reach you can reach the success. I think all of these points are noteworthy, and I'm really, really glad to have chatted with you on a candid note, because mock interview में या फिर पहले तो of course I have to be a mentor, but now you are an officer, so now I can have a candid relationship with you, and I can also seek more knowledge from you now, because now you are going to step up in the economic services, and you are going to have a very important and a very mind blowing journey. I always see the journey of our past candidates, whether it is Isha or it is Tanveer or it is, Trishila and Al Jamila. They keep on posting so many nice, anecdotes of their own journey, the conferences, the sessions that they are taking, the sessions they are, training sessions. So I think this journey now actually is the beginning, the new beginning of your life. तो अभी तक तो जो भी था that was all preparation. I feel now your actual journey is going to begin. So all the very best from the whole team. And I mean, whenever you require us to be a part of your own journey, I mean, we are always there. And I feel that whenever we would require you to guide our students, I would hope that you would also be, there for us. So thank you so much for talking to me, Sambhav, today, and having such a nice chat with me today.
Ma'am, could I express my concluding thoughts?
Sure, sure. Please do.
So, ma'am, firstly, I would like to thank the entire Ecoholics team for being so helpful in this preparation and helping me to have this achievement. And then, secondly, as you said that this is just the starting point, so I also believe the same, because I think that this is just the starting point, and my actual success will be determined what I do in the service and where I end up in the service. So I would definitely keep that in mind, and I would make my country proud on me and make whatever contribution I can for the betterment of the country and the society. And lastly, my message is to all the fellow aspirants कि कई बार होंगे जब आपकी लाइफ में फेलियर्स आएंगे, you will not achieve your desired result, but don't be disheartened and always keep trusting your process एंड नेवर थिंक टू मच अबाउट द एंड आउटकम, क्योंकि एंड आउटकम जरूरी नहीं है कि जो आप चाहोगे वैसा ही आएगा, बट वॉट इज इन योर हैंड इज योर प्रोसेस. सो ऑलवेज बिलीव इन दैट, एंड हमेशा ध्यान रखना कि जो भी लाइफ में होगा वो हमेशा अच्छा होगा. एंड लव द लाइफ यू लिव एंड डोंट लिव द लाइफ यू लव. तो जो भी मोमेंट है उसको एंजॉय करो साथ में, एंड देन हर चीज अच्छी होगी. सो यस, these were my
Wow.
concluding thoughts.
Beautiful, beautiful, optimistic note to conclude with. Thank you so much, Sambhav, for such a nice and interesting chat, and the toppers talk that I really, really would want to share very soon with our students. So thank you so much once again for coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was my pleasure.